Wayne with Tri-County Locksmith here, and we're going to be doing how to set up a work van. What I've got here is a full-size van, and this is going to be a ground-up build. The problem with when you step into a van is it's like driving a tin can, basically. It's very loud, hollow, and has voids in it, and pretty much all of your anytime you're going to drive down a road where there's going to be rocks, or here they salt the roads and put gravel on the roads a lot, and it is miserable to drive in because you have winter tires that grab those little rocks and pick them up, and it just echoes throughout this whole thing. Or if you have all your tools back here and you have one tiny little thing squeaking or moving or rattling, it echoes severely throughout the whole thing. So this is where I spend all my time. 90% of the time I'm either in the chair driving or back here rekeying or working on something. This is my office. So this video is going to be how to deaden the noise in here and silence this up a little bit. It's going to be a little difficult to do, but the main reason there's so much noise is because there's nothing to stop the flow of sound. Each one of these cross beams here, there's ridges in there to make the body rigid enough to be able to withstand the twisting and moving of the vehicle, but it creates hollow spots. So what we're going to do with this plywood, our OSB board, and some great stuff expanding foam is we're going to fill all that stuff in with some expanding foam, all of these open voids, and then we're going to actually put some wood up against here and fill that space up in between the two. What that's going to do is it's going to deaden the sound, and it's going to insulate the vehicle. On a hot day, this is a very dark vehicle, it gets extremely hot in here. On a very, very cold day, it gets extremely cold in here. Everything is metal. It's just like being in a giant refrigerator at night. So what this is going to do is it's going to insulate, give a little bit of room and a little bit of space, a little bit of airspace in between the outside cold and the inside. So it's going to keep it nice and warm in here without having to run the vehicle or run the heaters and things like that. The only heater vents are way up front. They don't get all the way to the back. So when you're back here doing rekeying or doing whatever it is I'm doing, it gets extremely cold. Or vice versa, in the dead of summer, extremely hot. So that's what this is going to be designed to do. If you're normally running a pickup truck or do your work in a pickup truck, it's 100% different because the door would be here, the seats are up there, and all this is open. You never hear anything back here. As soon as you step into a van, it's just like driving a canister down the road. And every tiny bump, every tiny little thing is amplified and magnified by this giant void back here. So we're going to do this just like they would build a house. You're going to have the outside skin. We're going to have an air gap for insulation and sound deadening. And the other thing that this is going to do too is this is going to give me a nice wood frame to go ahead and mount things on. So now instead of having to drill through metal or weld something on there to be able to attach things, or up here I can't even do that because then it'd be directly outside. You can't put a screw directly through your vehicle. It would look ridiculous and absurd. So that's what this is going to do. It's going to give me a really nice usable space to be able to go ahead and mount things and pull things out and change my mounting around. Once you mount a vehicle up, it's very, very hard to change it because everything is steel. So this is going to offer lots of options, sound deadening, insulation. It's going to make this a really nice workplace. So I'm going to do a little bit of a how-to video on how we do this here. Some of the other voids that I'm talking about is we can see how much room and how much of a void that is. Same thing back here. Big, huge voids all over this thing. That this bottom part gives it structural integrity, but it creates its own set of problems. It creates a big hollow void that creates a bunch of noise. Right here we got a hole that we can see the outside in. We're going to fill all that stuff up and lay this board down in here, and then we're going to fill up that gap with some foam, and it's going to create a completely different environment here. So that's the plan, and hang out and take a look with me.